the government said it was the right decision.
There are some who would like to delay the wider opening of schools.
School governors will be involved in the plans, so I asked how they should weigh it up. They are going to be thinking about their legal responsibilities in terms of making each school safe. How are they meant to reconcile that conflicting advice they're getting from you and from local councils?
What we would ask them to do is look at the guidance very, very carefully and recognise the fact that we are there to provide the very best for every single child who goes to that school. And the best way of doing that, the best way of protecting children, the best way of giving them the best opportunities in life is actually to have them coming back into school.
Schools are getting ready as best they can, changing classrooms, contacting families. Parents will choose whether to send their children, and some think it's time to start going back.
I'm not kind of waving a flag saying let's go back to school and put 30 children in the class and have it as a normal school day. I think there needs to be some kind of schooling in terms of some kind of non-physical contact at school.
Ministers point to Denmark, where children began their return a month ago. But today, teachers' unions here raised concerns. Too many cases, too little testing, among their 5 priorities.
We really want to get schools back open again as soon as it's safe to do so. We've got 5 simple tests that the British Medical Association on Friday told us they agreed with our tests, and we think the government hasn't yet met them. But they are not obstructive tests. They are tests that are to encourage the government to meet them so that we can get back to school. We're not there yet, though.
The gradual return to school remains a hope. The scientific evidence remains under review. A final judgment in England at the end of the month, as schools in the rest of the UK remain closed. Bronwyn Jeffries, BBC News.
So, as ministers insist they will be led by the science when making these decisions, what does the science say about how children are affected? Lauren Moss explains.
We've only known about COVID-19 for under 6 months, and the science community is still learning about it. But one of the big questions to answer is how are children affected? Put simply, children seem to catch coronavirus as much as anyone else. The survey by the Office for National Statistics published this week suggests 1 in 400 people in England has coronavirus, and it also found that children are just as likely to test positive as adults. But they don't appear to develop symptoms which are as serious or be as vulnerable to it. More than 24,000 people have died in hospitals in England with COVID-19. 12 were under the age of 19. Most had underlying health conditions.
We know from the current information that children have fewer symptoms and appear to have different transmission dynamics to adults. And it looks like they probably have shorter or fewer viral excretions from coughing and speaking. But we can't be sure for certain, and we certainly need more research in the area.
So if children catch coronavirus, how likely is it then that they can carry it and also spread it? Any increase in social mixing could lead to an increase in the R number, the rate of transmission. Children are super spreaders of other diseases like flu, but we just don't know how infectious they could be if they have little or no symptoms.
There is the possibility, although it seems like, that children might transmit it to other children or to staff members. But again, what evidence we have suggests that doesn't happen very much. But opening schools does create schools as being a social hub, that is where teachers will meet other teachers, will meet parents, so there will be increased mixing, and so there could be some spreading as a result of that.
It's early days as we begin to take steps to emerge from the lockdown. What we learn in the weeks and months ahead will shape what our new normal becomes. Lauren Moss, BBC News.